Welcome to Kev's Travel Stories. Each week I'll be bringing you a story from the weird and wonderful world of travel, a world that can change the way you see life and love and even the way we find meaning. Places that are iconic and sometimes surprising and even terrifying. So sit back and enjoy while we go on a magical mystery tour together. Welcome to Kevin's Travel Stories, and this week we look at the most expensive Airbnb properties that you can rent. We did the weirdest on another podcast, which you're very welcome to try out. It got a fantastic reaction, it was very interesting, and it got me thinking. Not all of us are going to be billionaires, not all of us are going to be millionaires, but wouldn't it be interesting if we had the means to get a flavour of what it's like to be a billionaire? My goal on finding this came from my love of Venice. I really adore Venice. I've been there for my first school trip, another podcast that I did recently on the Orient Express to Venice, to the wonderful celebration of my birthday, significant birthdays when I was 60, and we had an absolute ball there. So I've always wanted and wondered that if I did win the lotto, could I actually hire a complete palazzo on the Grand Canal? Well, guess what? There is one for hire. So let me just paint the picture. The Grand Canal is this amazing waterway, this artery that runs through Venice with the most amazing churches and palazzos and squares and bridges, the Rialto, the Accademia, the museums. And you can now join the hustle and bustle of life in Venice by hiring the Palazzo Perla, which is nestled right in the centre, this extraordinary 13th century Venetian Byzantine palace. Can you believe it? You have your own private entrance. So you get your boat, you get your private taxi to take you to your entrance. You're dropped off on the Grand Canal. You go in. Inside, it's the old and the new mixed. You can take a virtual tour of this online. It is devastatingly gorgeous. I can't even put into words the absolute overflow of beauty and culture and history that's all weaved into this palazzo. You will have mod cons and great old 13th century bedrooms. You will have bathrooms and modern showers, as well as views onto the 15th, 16th century palazzos that surround you on the Grand Canal. You'll wake up to the sound of the gondoliers calling, to the vaporettas passing, to the seagulls dancing, weaving their way across the canal, and you will be able to go to your balcony, throw open your windows and breathe it all in. I cannot imagine anything more stunning than that. The price? Well, what would you say for one night in your own palazzo in the heart of Venice? Have a guess? If you came in between 6,000 and 13,000, depending on the time of the season, euro a night, take a clap. That's what it is. 6,000 if you're an off-season. And Venice, my dear friends, is a most wonderful place off-season. It's not hot, there's no crowds, there's a little bit of light rain sometimes. A fantastic time to go and explore as the mist comes in from the bay and the muffled sounds of the bells of the palazzos pealing and ringing out. Other places that you could go, well, how many of you saw Netflix's reality dating show, Too Hot to Handle? It was in Mexico, in Punta Mita, this fantastic, ensuite, beautiful Mexican spa villa that had 8 housekeeping staff. You've got personal chefs. This is what you'll get when you hire it, as did the crew and the cast of Too Hot to Handle. As well as your personal chefs, you get 5 cooks, 8 butlers. 8? I'm not sure why exactly it would be 8, but you're going to have your 8 butlers, and they will look after all your needs. You've got a lush garden, you've got multiple swimming pools, as you saw from the Netflix series, and a beachfront location in the heart of Mexico. So sunshine all the year round. Now, what more could you ask for than that? How much? Have a guess. Is it more expensive than my palazzo in Venice? Actually, it's the same price. $13,000 a night. There's no off-season for that. Another place I've always wanted to really hang out in is the forests of Bali. This is where the billionaires go and hide out. And you can have this extraordinary hanging gardens of Bali, right in the jungle, a regal atmosphere. You can have 10 of your friends accompany you, and you can have this combination of mod cons, swimming pools, food prepared by staff while you sit back and enjoy the sounds of the forest at night and in the morning, the exotic birds hooting and flying and cascading around, and absolute joy of breathing in the air that's filled with the natural flora and fauna. The cost of one night here, again, go on, have a guess. One night is $34,000. It's starting to ramp up. Now, we come to the most expensive property on Airbnb, but it's not my favorite. It's a fantastic place. It's a villa, the Villa Victoria, a very famous villa in Saint-Tropez, which was made famous by Brigitte Bardot and all the 60s stars, the Rolling Stones. This was a place of sex, drug, and rock and roll. And you're there between the seas and the shopping areas and the whole razzmatazz that is Saint-Tropez, which has slightly fallen off the map now. It is not quite as ritzy and glitzy as it used to be in the 60s. But you will have incredible facilities for your 14 guests. This will include a private pool, of course, breathtaking views, and an outdoor kitchen to match your indoor kitchen. And furthermore, if you want to arrive in style, which I'm sure you will want to do as you become a billionaire for a night, it has its own helipad. The cost, okay, I want you to sit down now. This is no joke. Have a guess. You're not getting much change out of $100,000 for the night. Can you imagine? $100,000. Well, I'm going to go to my main location, my number one spot to become a billionaire for one evening. It's actually not the most expensive, but let me first describe what you're going to get if you stay in Musha Cay. This is a private island owned by the famous illusionist David Copperfield. And this offers a 10,000 square foot residence. You've 12 bedrooms, 13.5 bathrooms for some reason, which slightly bemused me. And you have this landing where you will be able to be outdoors. You can have entertainment, breathtaking sunset views. And here's the best bit. Not only your private landing, but 30 staff to look after your every need. This includes housekeeper, cooks, butlers. I love this idea of having my butler. George, could you change that gin and tonic now? Your own private boatman to take you around the other islands, and you can just sit back, kick off your heels, and enjoy the true life. You are here in your own private island with staff and the most extraordinary level of luxury. The price of this, have a guess, for one night with your 30 staff, your private island, and your 16 plus guests. I think it's a mere snip at $60,000 a night. So there you go. You can really become a billionaire. My own favorite out of all of these will definitely be the Venetian Palazzo. It's the cheapest, $6,000 for one night, and I think it has the most iconic views. That will be my own stay. But if you want to become a billionaire for the night, there are your options. And if you do win the lotto, you know where to go. If you've enjoyed this podcast, do follow us, particularly on Instagram. I've noticed that a lot of people are listening to these podcasts. We're really grateful for that. Only about 8% have signed up to our Instagram account on the top travel destinations. And if you do support us on Instagram, you will get all the latest news, you will get insights, you will get a real idea of what it's like to travel and see some exotic places and share some exotic stories. Thanks for listening, and good luck picking your billionaire's Airbnb getaway for the night.